Welcome back to Baseball. We're going to continue our top 10 worst PR disasters from the Wilpon era. We got a real good one for you here. These are players from 1969 team that they were announced as dead, but they're not. They're actually alive.
Yeah, Jesse Hudson and Jim Gosger were both announced as dead when they had the 1969 50th anniversary celebration. They had all the guys that could be there on the field celebrating, haven't seen each other in forever. And then they have the names, of course, of those who had passed away. These guys were included, but they weren't dead.
No, they were not dead. I was actually at that game too. Lovely Saturday. Next thing you know, these guys are announced as dead. They're not. I know Jim Gosger had a lot to say about it. Jesse Hudson was also mentioned as dead, but was not dead.
Forbes would be dead, but they're not.
This was the scene over the weekend. The aging Miracle Mets honored 50 years after winning that World Series. Jim Gosger didn't get an invite. He wasn't upset about that. But then he started getting emails from New York friends Saturday.
On the bulletin board, they're also acknowledging the people that have passed away. And he says, "You're on there." And I said, "Well, I don't feel like I'm dead." And I had people calling me. I had people coming up on my Facebook. What the hell is going on?
It's a troubling moment facing your mortality early, and the Mets' attempts to make good fell flat. He got a call from the team historian.
He says, "We want to apologize for what we did." He says, "We didn't know that you were still alive." And I said, "Well, thanks for calling," and I hung up with it, and that was the end of the conversation. You know, I was mad.
A good left-handed bat, swift in the outfield, not a star. He mostly platooned in 11 years in the bigs. But this isn't the first slight by the Mets. He played a dozen or so games during the '69 World Series. Later, he won a pennant with the Mets in '73 and got this ring. But he never got a ring for that World Series, and he'd like one.
I'd cry again. I mean, it meant that much to me.
I mean, he earned it after all, right? Well, he is a storytelling machine, a real character. And I asked him, I said, "Why are you wearing the Red Sox hat?" He said, "Because that's his favorite team. They're the ones that signed him." I said, "Would you wear a Mets hat?" He said, "Yeah, if they get me that ring."
One ring to rule them all.
I mean, he looked alive to me.
Yeah, that guy was very lively, if you ask me.
Oh, and he was pissed. He was hopping mad. This guy over here, it's bad enough that they say that poor old Jim is dead, and he's not dead. But then they turn around and they won't give him a freaking ring.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he was mad because, first of all, he wasn't even watching the celebration.
Right.
Like, he didn't even know about it. That tells me he doesn't even watch the Mets at all. He wants nothing to do with them. And, I mean, what's up with their history of not giving people rings?
Listen, we know Aggie, right? She put a damn curse on this team because she never got her ring. Just give him the ring. He literally said in the interview that he would cry. That's how much it means to this guy. What is with it? Just give him a ring. He has the ring from when they lost the World Series in '73, but he did not get his ring from '69, which they were celebrating, by the way.
Seriously, what is the problem? You give everybody in that organization a ring when you win something, especially a team like this that doesn't win it all the time. I can get it if it was like the Yankees. You know, they win so much. That's a lot of rings. That's a big expense right there.
And after all, he's a player.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Give this guy a ring. Maybe this is something else that Steve Cohen will make right.
Right. And does Jesse Hudson have a ring? I mean, I would like to know that. I'd like to find that out. Because it's bad enough you're saying these guys are dead and they're not. Give them a ring already, all right?
I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.